Our project was CAD and 3D printing.
The first step of this process was to download Fusion 360 and learn how to create rings.
For our first ring, we created 2 concentric circles and then extruded the area in the larger circle that was not in the smaller circle. We discovered that cylinders and any type of prism are best created using extrusion. However, extrusion cannot create spheres and also cannot create more than one shape at a time.
We created our second ring by revolving a circle removed from the center around the center axis. Revolving creates all circular shapes well, including variations of circular bases. It can also help create concave and convex 3D shapes. However, it can only make circular pieces, so parts such as the King's Cross were done with extrusion.
After learning the basics, we moved on to creating the actual chess pieces. Our pieces were mostly created by outlining the edge of the piece how we wanted it, and then revolving that shape around the center axis, since the base of every piece was circular.
For the rook, 2 concentric circles were placed on top of the rest of the revolved body, and then lines were drawn through both circles. The outer pieces were then extruded upwards.
For the knight and king, both the cross and the horse were drawn separately from the revolved shape, extruded, and then merged with the revolved shape to complete the piece.
Once the pieces were ready to print, we combined them on the 3D printer OS site into 2 files.
We discovered the best way to orient your pieces is to reduce supports by putting the flat side to the ground, just as we would when making sure something is stable in real life. A piece will often have more support material under it if there is space between it and another part of the piece that exists under it.
After orienting properly and making sure all pieces were on the bed, we visited the foundry, uploaded the files onto the SD card, and printed.
We decided the best way to make most chess pieces was to create lines and then revolve it around the center axis, and then add necessary extruded parts on afterwards. We agreed that the knight was the most difficult piece to create, as it was drawn entirely from different freehand lines and curves to create the desired shape.
Overall, because of this module, we have learned valuable basics in CAD, which we can use to help our engineering design project or other problems we may tackle in the future.